Yo, what up guys? Coming at you with a video today. Gonna be doing some stuff on the Z today. Just a little thing, but we are gonna be installing Underglow. I already have some, but this is going to replace what I have right now. This came pretty highly recommended from the local guys, so I'm gonna throw that on. The strips that I have right now are not really functioning fully. The back, I think half of this strip only lights up green, so gonna replace that today. And I also did something for the interior. We have footwell lighting, so might make a video on that as well. Did not record myself installing this, but I can show you guys what I bought and how I installed it. Little phone mount here, super pumped about that. Got my cable here. It's all routed in the dash and stuff. Like, just kind of been trying to clean up the interior, but there we go. Let's get over to the shop and get this underglow in. All right. Oh, there we go. Oh, already on blocks. Nice. Got all of the 4 strips set free here. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna take my time and getting the front and side strips out and the rear. So as well, gotta reattach. I forgot to reattach these after doing my alignment, which is kind of funny. So I'll fix that too. Those are the inner tie rod boots, for those that are wondering. All right, so we've got all the cables, for the most part, pulled back through. Just working on this rear one right now. All right, got that. All the cables are free now, so I'm gonna take off all the old underglow. This rear strip is coming out. Unfortunately, we did drill into my chassis to do this. So we'll see if I can reuse these holes for the new stuff or zip ties, but we've got, yeah, both side pieces. All the wires are below the car. Control box is over here. Just hit my head on the lift. So yeah, I got the control box over here. I'm just gonna rip all this old stuff out and then I'll show you guys the new kit we're working with. All the old underglow is out. As you guys can see, this is, the soft stripping LED RGB strips. So one of these side strips doesn't work properly. It only lights up green, so that's why I'm replacing it. We are going with this kit here. This is the OPT7 Aura Pro Underglow kit. So this came really highly recommended from a lot of the local people that are out here, but I mean, as you guys can see, this is much more stout of a product than what I have been using. At least the casings are. I don't know if the lights inside are necessarily different, but let's open these up. But as you guys can see, like, we've got a nice aluminum like profile casing there. The lights do fold out. This is a front strip. It's 36 inches long, same as my old underglow. So the old underglow is 36 inches for the front and rear. And then it's 48 inches for the sides, and this is the exact same length. So I think I should get some pretty decent coverage. I was very happy with the coverage that I got with the other kit. And then there is a side strip that's pretty big. So yeah, we're gonna put these on, and I don't think it should be too hard to install these. And they look fairly low profile. We do have a little nub on the end we can use as well. So yeah, gonna get these up and I'll update you guys along the way. First things first, we gotta figure out which one of these strips goes where. And they are different. So for your front strip, gonna be one of the two thinner ones or shorter strips. It's gonna have the shorter cable. And then the rear strip's gonna have the longer cable. So this has a bigger bunched up end. So I know this is the rear and I know this is the front. Now, as far as where your battery goes, that depends on, you know, what country you're in, but wherever your battery goes is what the shorter side cable is gonna go on. So I don't know if you guys can even really see or tell, but this has a longer cable for the side strip than this does. So therefore, this is gonna go on the same side your battery goes on. So I know where all of these go. So that's all set. As well, some of the stuff that they give you, which I think is pretty cool. You got, of course, the control box that connects to the battery. You got very generous cables here. And this kit does actually have a inbuilt fuse right there. So this is already better than the other kit. And then you also get some mounting options. They give you some adhesive promoter as well if you're trying to use 3M tape. There's a couple other mounting bracket solutions, looks like for like self-tappers. And then they also give you a heap load of zip ties, which I think is really nice. So good job on the inclusion of that stuff. But yeah, gonna get these strips up on the car, try and figure out, you know, what mounting options I'm gonna end up using. But I'll update you guys once I got some stuff going. All right, so I think I've got the rear end sorted. Had to move from back there to over here. So I have it zip tied. Oh, come on, there you go. I have it zip tied right here. And then it is also zip tied to the crash bar right there. And then I have it zip tied to the crash bar. I have it zip tied to the crash bar little structure there. I couldn't get it behind there, so I think that should provide fairly even coverage in the back. And then you won't be able to see the strip as well. So now I get to do the rest of these, and the rest of them are going to be super easy. I'm just going to be zip tying them, but the rear one's always going to be a pain. So now I'll mount everything up, and then I'll mount my wires and control box. New Underglow. All right, so we got everything mounted up. Got the front nice and mounted. The front was probably the easiest one to mount. I've got a theme going with these strips where I'm not clamping down on this wire. I'm just making it so I can't go left or right. And then we got this strip here. And we are just zip tied straight to this plastic cardboard stuff. Yeah, that's on there. And again, a little zip tie keeping it from moving backwards. We are really tight up against the puck there on either side. So, but these are actually, the 48 strips are, you know, the rigid ones are gonna technically provide more light. I ended up wrapping mine around these corners here, and these just keep going straight. So all we got to do now is start routing all of the wires for the Underglow. So everything needs to get routed along the car and up towards the battery. So that's when we start working on. So everything's routed, plumbed around. Got the front going up around here. Hold on. That wire goes up all along the fender well, and then I've got the side and the rear coming up from down here. So got those coming up, and those are all meeting at the same spot, and they're all exiting here. We got the driver's side already routed, so that wire goes up through here, and then it exits right up there. That cable right there is going to go up, and then it's just going straight across the battery. So right now what we got to do is get this thing back on the ground, and then what we're going to end up doing is plugging it up. We're going to figure out where we want this box. I'm not sure if I want this in the cabin or in the engine bay. Last time it was in the engine bay. The only reason I'm considering is because of the very long power cable they give you. We'll see if I can get the Underglow wires to go into the cab, but if not, we can put that in the engine bay. So right now, we're just gonna lower this on the ground, hook everything up, and once it's all hooked up, I'm gonna show you guys what we got going on. Hopefully it is, a lot more reliable than the other one. And hopefully it doesn't turn on randomly as well, because with the other one that I had, anytime it received a Bluetooth signal from my phone, it would turn on, and I would go home, pull into the garage, and I'm like, oh, my Underglow's on. Sick. I'm not trying to have it on. Like, come on. So I never got pulled over for it, but feel like that's a thing I don't want to deal with. Got everything routed. The power's not plugged in, but I do have it plugged into the battery. Battery's not plugged in yet, but just want to show you guys the setup I got going on here. I have all of the slack tied up so that I can zip tie it to, there's a wiring harness over here. So I'm going to try and stuff all of these in the fender and then zip tie them together. I may or may not leave this one over here, but I can, if I can fit it in here, I can. That'd be cool. But yeah, gonna plug in the box. Yeah, hopefully everything works. I noticed on the instructions for the output of the box, you do have to plug the front, like all of the individual strips need to go into a specific port here. So I'm just gonna test and make sure everything is correct before we, get going too far. So just gonna get that battery on there. But Underglow is a pretty fun process. There's that. That's good. And plug in our Underglow. Oops. Yeah, it's on. All right, let's test these lights out. Pretty hyped. I forgot it did come with a remote, so I'm probably not even gonna need the app. So here we go. Yeah. I got it set up for orange right now. Damn, dude, that's some good coverage. We'll see when it's like on the ground and stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty hyped on that. Let's just try and cycle through. We got red, green, blue, looks like yellow, back to orange. Or sorry, that's like it's like a warm yellow. Back to orange, a darker orange. I have two different oranges. Oh my God. Blue, blue, purple, that looks fire. We got teal, and we have white. And it looks like we can lower the brightness, and then I guess it'll flash when you're down all the way. And then we can turn it off, turn it on. Let's turn up brightness. Yeah, dude, this is pretty sweet. Okay, I see, and then it dims when you're up at the highest. I don't know, gotta figure these out. Oh, we've got different modes. What? On the remote, we have different modes. Well, so as you guys can see, the Underglow works really good. I am really hyped on this remote. The other kit that I had was only accessible with an app. So just being able to quickly, turn it on, and it even has 2 different oranges. There's like a lighter orange and a darker orange. But I am very, very excited to have this working, and it should stay working for longer. Yeah, man, that looks so good. But yeah, I'm excited. All right, so I think that would do it for the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed it, give a like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. I hope to catch the next one. And yeah, have a nice night, day, wherever you are. Peace out.